Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Radical Connections. And Jesse and Irina here. We are back from our Costa Rica trip, and we have some nuggets for you guys. Today, what we're going to talk about today?
How progression in balance produces happiness.
Yeah.
Like balanced progression in all areas of life produces happiness.
Yeah. So it's interesting how, we experience things in life that sometimes puzzle us or confuses or frustrates us. We get stuck and then we don't know how to get out of that. So we found just recently that when you get kind of
stagnant,
stuck
in a funk,
yeah, that kind of keeps you there if you're not progressing, if you're not taking steps
like forward. If somebody's not happy, you just find out what area of their life are they not progressing in, not growing in, and you'll be able to figure out how to unlock and uncork their flow towards happiness. And I understand that depending on your perspective and the lens through which you view happiness, you may or may not see happiness as the end goal. So, if you're a believer, a Christian, you might think, well, it's not about being happy. And well, okay, that's
it helps.
That's why they call Christianese religion. I'm talking about happiness and joy being a end result, byproduct of you progressing, you are growing. Now, you can have out of balance growth. If somebody's progressing hardcore in business, but they're not progressing in their relationship or their home front or relationships in general, whether it's with God or their identity or others, well, guess what? Pretty soon you're gonna have a divorced business or a divorced millionaire. And we don't want that. So we want balanced progress in all areas of life, and that is where your happiness and your joy will come from. Now, if you're in a situation that's not ideal or that feels out of your control, it comes down to asking victim questions versus progression questions. Asking the why question is a victim question. That's not progress. That's not a question that leads to progress. Or the question of what can I do to take responsibility for my emotions and the lens through which I view these things in my life that are not present. That's progress questions. Progressive questions that are moving forward. The why question, even if you have the why question answered, it won't bring you peace, because all it does is if the why question is answered, guess what happens? You have another why behind it. Because why questions are often internal rhetorical statements to justify why you feel like you do. And guess what? The feeling and the emotion and the inner turmoil still stay. It's still there. It does not get removed by answering the why question, because the why question does not bring progress unless you immediately step into, okay, this is why this happened. Now, how can I take responsibility? So you still have to shift into the taking of responsibility and, asking questions that produce creativity in coming up with solutions. And I don't care if it's spiritual, physical, it really doesn't matter, or emotional, body, soul, spirit. This principle applies holistically in all areas of your life, body, soul, spirit. If you're not progressing, guess what? You're probably going to have that area of your life is going to be producing turmoil, some form of depression, which, by the way, the definition of depression is just lack of joy. If you don't have joy, guess what? You're depressed. If you're depressed, you don't have joy. And you'll have, ebbs and flows of both, and maybe in your life, the ups and downs. However, your emotions and your feelings are not necessarily always the truth. Your situation is not necessarily always true. Okay, I gotta justify that. I might open up a can of worms to somebody, because we recognize that yes, situations in life happen that you can justify it, that stole my joy and my peace. However, you are in control. You can choose what you want to do with those emotions
So I was gonna give you some examples. So if you don't know what steps to take and you are stuck, look at the things, what makes you happy. What are the things that's going to bring you joy? Do you have a vision? Do you know what you want? If you don't, that's the first steps you need to take. You need to figure out, what do you want? What are the things that, bring you joy? Seriously. We just talked about that, and I said, I want to spend money on clothing. I haven't been doing that in a long time, and that brings me joy. I don't have to go shopping every day. I don't have to go shopping every week or every month or so, but certain things can bring you joy. Maybe getting flowers bring you joy. Going out in nature brings you joy. Going on adventures bring you joy. And so take that risk, take that step, whatever it is, even if it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to get us excited, to get us back to being alive, right? So that's I would say, if you don't know what to do next, ask that question. What do I want? What do I want to make?
And
what makes me happy?
And what if somebody asks, or says, rather, I just want what God wants. I just want God's will. Okay, that sounds good. It might sound humble and like very spiritual. However, God asked King Solomon, ask me what you want and I'll give it to you. So you have to remember that God wants you to define what you want, so that he has something to guide, something to steer, something to bless, and something to prosper. You have to give him something by defining what you want and then submitting it to God, and take actions, steps of faith towards that thing you want, and asking him to give you wisdom and guide your steps. Okay, because it's not all up to God, because he delegated dominion to us. He delegated our responsibility to us. That's why we have free will and why we have choice. If it's all up to God, we would not have the capacity to make less than ideal or wrong choices.
Yeah.
If you get my drift. So God does want us to choose. We ask him for wisdom. So ask, if you're the spiritual type and a believer, a Christian, so to speak, and you prefer that route, great, awesome, us too. But if not, it doesn't matter. The principles will still apply no matter what you believe. It is to ask God for wisdom to make the right choice. And then if God is silent, here's what I have found. When God is silent, it doesn't necessarily mean wait. It often means he wants you to decide, and then he'll bless your decision. So then when God is silent, but you feel you need to progress in this area, okay, pray and ask for wisdom, and then make a decision and move forward. Even if it's the wrong decision, guess what? A sailboat with the sails up can catch the wind of the Spirit, which causes motion in that boat so that the rudder works. Guess what? Even if you're going the wrong direction with the wrong decision, you still learn something from that experience, and you grew from it. And guess what? The boat can be turned around because there's motion. So I'd like to close with that. Let's see your final thoughts.
Yes, I just want to ask you, what are the things that you need to do in your life to get back to happiness and to joy? Post it below, let us know. We would like to know. All right, guys. That's it?
Yeah, that was awesome. That's great. Love it. I just preached to myself.
There you go. Be blessed.